Hi, hello everyone. My name is Kashfi, and today I would like to share one of my story. It's actually my personal story, and for that I would like to bring you back to April 2017 in Jakarta. And at that time, actually, that's the time when I just graduated from my university. So I used to study there, and for that time, I'm super excited because, of course, all those questions popping up, like what's my future going to be look like, and what should I do next? And I was like, okay, I'm thinking at that time, and somehow that thinking brought me back to September 2016. And in September 2016, it's actually the end of my internship in Bali. So for those of you who doesn't know, Jakarta and Bali is actually a different area. Jakarta is the capital of Indonesia, so it's like 2 hours away from Bali. And at that time, when I finished my internship there, I make a promise to myself, like, I want to move here. I love the people here. I love on how everyone is welcome, and I can share my feelings better. I feel like more myself when I'm in Bali. So at the time, I promised myself to come back once I finish my graduation. So going back again to April 2017, that makes me feel like, okay, I guess I have to go to Bali and start my new journey there. And after thinking about that, um, I tried to apply it and find a couple of jobs in Bali, and I'm super excited for that. So I was looking on my computer, try to find any company that 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 has an opening. So I applied for a couple of company, until finally I found this job, and then after 2 weeks, I got an email back from one of the job applicants, and it was coming from one of the co-working space in Ubud. And I'm super excited because I was applying for junior events manager at that time, and I've been wanted to do that since a really long time. I love events. I love bringing people together because that's what I like. So I'm super excited that I got that job. And without saying anything to my parents before, I already said yes. So I'm all in. I'm going to Bali, doesn't matter what. And it's only like 2 weeks away until I going to Bali. I know it's so soon, but that's what's happening. I just want to leave Jakarta as soon as possible and move to Bali. So that's what I do. And so since I haven't tell my parents yet at that time, of course it makes me like, oh my God, what should I say to them? Because even when I did my internship before in Bali, it's already such a big discussion around me with my parents. Um, because Bali, they have these stereotypes like Bali, oh my God, party island, tropical island, all that stuff, a lot of foreigners. So I try to be ready before I say it to my parents. So I go to my mom. It was in the living room in our house. Um, and I said, hey, mom, your son got a job. And she was so excited because, of course, your parents want every kids to have a job after graduating, right? And that's what I told her, like, mom, I got a job. And she was so excited about it. And I told her at the end, like, but it's going to be in Bali. And after saying that, there's a lot of discussion coming up and popping up. And of course, she was like, are you sure that you're going to Bali again? Are you going to leave us here in Jakarta? And I was like, yeah, but I need to pursue my dream. And I would like to go there. I know that I can learn more there because I've been wanted to work in a very diverse community, and I believe that right there they have it. So I need that, and it's a very international community as well. So that's the thing that I would like to be in. I've been wanted to practice my English. I know in Jakarta I learned about it, but I never really practiced English that much. So I decided to do it. Um, And after convincing her and after a lot of argument, of course, she decided to say yes. And I feel so relieved and I was so happy. And I'm getting more excited to go to Bali because finally my mom said yes at that time. And after saying yes, of course, 2 weeks away before I move, right? And I tried to packing up all of my stuff until the day before I have to leave Jakarta and go to Bali. I decided to pack everything. I packed my stuff to do my suitcase. I put my favorite clothes, my everything actually, almost all the stuff that I have in my room. I put it in my suitcase, so it's a big one. And at that night, a day before I move, my mom coming to my room, and she bringing me this praying mat and also an Al Quran. And I was so surprised that she's so in for this, and she wants to make sure that I'm having everything based on her perception. Of course, I need to have the mat and the Quran. So just want to give you a background that my family is a very strict. So I grew up in a very strict Muslim family, and that's why she put those stuff in my suitcase because she wants to make sure that I'm doing all the stuff when I'm in Bali. So somehow, after seeing her doing that, it makes me feel like, okay, I need to talk to her because I would like to start clean, going into my new journey in Bali. And I talked to her at the time, Mom, can we talk? So we had a conversation. I start by saying thank you, of course, for believing me and letting me to go to Bali. I know it's going to be I know it's a big decision, and I really appreciate that you accept me by going to Bali, and I'm super happy about it. And she was like, yeah, no worries. And then until the time that somehow I said, I'm sorry that I always be this kid that is different from any other kids that you have. I always against whatever you say to me before. I'm not like the other kids that you have. So I'm so sorry about that, and I'm so sorry that I never really be the kids that you always wanted. And she was so surprised by me saying that. And she was like, how dare you saying that? I love all of my children all the same. But somehow at the time I feel like, yeah, Mom, I know, but that's not how I feel. But I love you so much, and since I'm going to Bali to a new journey, I just want you to know me better. So that's what I do. So I'm so sorry for not being the kids that you want and always against your value every time. And she was so mad. She's kind of, I kind of feel her that she feel that she's failed as a parent, and I feel sad as well by saying that, but I kind of feel like I want to getting those emotion out of my chest. So I feel relieved and ready to start my new journey in Bali. So we had a big argument at that time. She left me in that room, wondering, and then I was crying. I locked my door. And the next morning, when the time I have to go to the airport, I thought that my family would took me to the airport. But turns out I have to go by myself. So I took the bus to the bus station and then go to the airport afterwards. And on the way, basically, I'm just wondering, like, am I doing something wrong last night? Is it too much? But I just kind of feel like I need to do it. And I just want us to be more open, you know, like when it comes to my parents, I never really have like an open conversation with her. And I start to getting more open to my parents as well, towards my feeling, because our communication is always like a one-way communication, and I would like to have a two-way communication where I can also share my feelings and how I feel. So going to the airport, wandering around like, what am I doing last night? Is it bad? And moving forward, I arrived in Bali, and after 2 months of living in Bali, the first 2 months it was hard because I thought that my parents would text me or anything, but it's kind of slow from their side to text me or even have a call with me. But after a couple of years, it's getting better, which is nice. I guess it's also because of the distance that I have with my parents. So the communication slowly getting better. I try to be more open up about my feelings as well towards my parents, so it's nice. Um, so I guess the communication it start getting better after a couple of years. Until the time last year in October 2019, when I'm going to Kuala Lumpur, I saw one of my favorite musician there, and after the concert, I was going to a pub with my friends. And then I was drinking beer, and then we take pictures, all that stuff. It's nice, I'm super happy. But after posting that picture, she screenshot the picture of me drinking alcohol. While the picture it's see that you can see that I'm drinking alcohol right there because there's a beer. So in my family, drinking alcohol is actually not allowed. So so yeah, it's a big deal. So that's why she screenshot that picture and she was asking me like, can you explain why why are you drinking alcohol? Are you drinking alcohol on that picture? And I was like, oh shit. After having those texts from my mom, I was just freeze and I don't know what to say. So I was nervous. I just leave it there. So after a couple of days, those at that night. So during that night, I'm having some dinner with a couple of friends that I have in Ubud. So right there, I'm just having dinner. It's okay, just a pretty laid back dinner night with my friends. And then after going home, I had a phone call coming to my phone, and it's basically my mom. And I was so nervous. I don't know what to say because I know the last thing that she said to me, it was just a screenshot of my Instagram picture having some drinks right there. So I took that picture and then I pick up those phone call, and then when I pick it up, of course, she's like, "Can you explain to me about the picture that you post on Instagram?" And I was freezing. I don't know what to say. Should I lie or should I not? Should I tell her the truth? And at the end, I decided to lie. I tell her like, no, it's not. It's just a fruit punch, you know. So you don't have to be worried. But yeah, I know my friends is having some beer right there, but I'm not drinking alcohol or anything. So you don't have to worry about that. But after I tell her about that, she have this thought like, no, he's not telling the truth. So she keeps asking me the same question until like 3 times. And I try to keep on my answer, like, no, I'm not drinking. But after that, I was like, okay, should I tell her the truth? I guess this is the time for me to tell the truth finally. And I tell her that, yes, mom, I'm drinking alcohol and I'm sorry about that. She was so mad. It was a long 1 hour conversation on the phone by her saying all the things that kind of related to Al Quran and then how wrong is it to drink alcohol and why are you drinking alcohol, all that stuff. But during those 1 hour conversation, I basically just listen because I want to know what she's thinking, you know. and I just listen, try to observe all the information, get to know what she wants to say to me until the time when it is my turn to say something. So after 1 hour, I kind of stop her and say, "Can I talk now?" And then I started to talk to her. "Mom, I'm sorry. I know that it's wrong, but I just want to let you know the reason why I'm doing that, it's not because of you. It's all my decision to do that. And I hope that you are okay with it. I just want to let you know that all the things that I've been doing in my life is basically me wanted to try and experience my life based on the things that I've done. I know it's wrong, but how can I know if it's wrong until I try it, you know?" So I tried to convince her, like, I'm sorry for doing that. And she was still keep saying those things, like arguing to me. And at that time, I just told her, you know what? I brought up this another open conversation. So you know what, Mom? I had a phone call. No, not me. My friend had a phone call actually with her parents last night, and she's been living here for 8 months in Bali, and the conversation is just so slow, you know, like everything is just so nice, and until to the point where her father is basically saying that he's so proud of her, and I just like, okay. Um, um, and then she's asking, like, why are you saying that? Do you do you say that I didn't proud of you or something? And I was like, no, the reason why I say that, because I want to make a point that our communication is very bad, Mom. Like, it's always a one-way communication towards us. We never really have an open conversation when I can say something else, and you know, I've been living here for 3 years and you never say that you're proud of me. and I said, I'm sorry, Mom, but the reason why I say this is because I want us to have an open conversation. I want to say something. I want to tell about my day, like, how's my day going? And then she was like, I'm sorry, kids, but I'm so proud of you, and you should know that. And finally the conversation is going and it's getting better. She's getting more understand as well about that, until all of a sudden my phone died. Yeah, my phone died. And then going back to my room after that phone call, I have all these thoughts in my mind. Oh my God, what just happened? And thinking about that, all of a sudden I fell asleep. Waking up in the morning, I don't know, I still think about last night. What just happened with me and my parents? And then all of a sudden, I have my phone next to me, and I check my phone right there, and I get a text from my mom. And at that time, she said, hey, how are you doing? And how's your sleep last night? Thank you.